My name is Frank Thierer. I'll be 60 in August, and I'm a locksmith. My injuries weren't necessarily an injury, but I'd worn out my knees. And so I was just having a difficult time walking. It got to the point where one morning I woke up and I basically couldn't walk anymore. 25 feet, and I'd have to sit down, and because they were both gone. I heard about Dr. Comanderi from a very good friend of mine, my wife's and I, friends, and we see each other in church on Sundays, and we're in the foyer afterwards, and I'm commiserating to her, telling her what a hard time I'm having to finding a surgeon. I'd been to 3 before I came to Dr. Comanderi. And every one of them just left me uncomfortable when I left. One of them wanted to do just like one compartment, and oh, don't worry, you'll be okay with that. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, but what about 5 or 6 years from now? What about the rest of it? And so I was just kind of moaning, and she goes, "I've got a great guy." I says, "Really?" And she's very well versed in the medical field. So if she says I've got a great guy, she's got a great guy. And she says his name is Dr. Comanderi. And I go, "Who?" She says, "Dr. Comanderi." I says, "Do you have his phone number?" She says, "I'll text it to you." So she texted it to me, and I went to the website, and I looked around, and I thought, well, this sounds pretty good. So that's basically how I got the name and how I came to MK Orthopaedics. Pretty cool, actually. Comfortable. I came in, and one of the nurse assistants, or whatever name you want to give them, started doing some interview questions and that, and I told them both the knees were gone and that. So they took me for X-rays first. Did a series of X-rays, 6 or 7, if I remember right, and then went back to the room, and she said, "Doc will be in a few minutes." And he comes walking in and introduces himself and sits down, and he says, "Okay, Frank, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your pain level?" And I go, 15? And he just kind of smiles. He goes, "You need your knees replaced." I go, "Yeah, I kind of thought so." And so then I wanted to have both of them done at the same time. I thought, this way I can just get it over with. I'll suffer for that first month if I can't walk, but I'll be done. So I asked Doc about that, and he said no. And I said, "Why?" And so he just started explaining to me. He said, first off, it's not just double the complications. He said it's almost like 8 times the complications to do both of them at the same time. So he said, we can do one, and then probably 2 months later we can do the second one, and and we can move on. So I thought, okay, let's do it. Very comfortable, just personable, and and really, I just sat there and felt that this is the guy. So we walked out of here, and I said, he's it. The whole staff here is just unbelievable, start to finish. And I'm not going to say names because I know I'm going to forget somebody, and I'm going to be mad when I leave here. So everybody, every single person that I had dealings with were just awesome. It was almost like I was the only person in their life as far as what I needed done here. From X-rays and just how are things going? Checking the the incisions after the job. Gosh, I mean, I can't. You know what? And that makes the office really. I mean, obviously the doctor makes the office, but if you don't have a good staff, and his staff is by far the best I've ever seen. I did home therapy for 2 weeks, which I guess is pretty typical. I was operated on Tuesdays, which I'm pretty sure is pretty standard, and go home on Friday as long as there's no complications, and which I did both times. And then so for the first 2 weeks, you're still at home, so you have a home health nurse come and a home physical therapist come, and you start doing your exercises and that. And then I saw a doc on a follow-up after the surgery, which was approximately 2 weeks later. And he said, that I was progressed along enough to do, outpatient physical therapy. And I said, super. And he says, now you can make your own choice here. He says, but I just want to let you know that I have a physical therapy, place right here behind the office. He says, I know it's a little bit farther away from home for you. He says, but the good part about it is that I can go and check up on you anytime I need something. If the physical therapist has a question, they can come to me, and everything is just, together. And I thought, yeah, for the extra 20 minutes or something that it took me to drive here, my best, that was a great choice for me to make. Physical therapy staff, pretty good people. You almost become like a family back there because therapy goes on for a couple of months. And, usually it's 3 days a week, at least it was for me, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. And so, you just can't help but get close and talk and joke and laugh and and then you also get to meet the other patients that are there too. So it really becomes a group, and it's really kind of your life for a couple of months. And excellent. If I could put a sign on the top of my car, I would. Really, Dr. Comanderi's great. The physical, really, it's a whole package. Really, if you don't mind giving a little bit, say like in drive time, this is it. Really, you don't have to go anywhere else. Wonderful. In fact, I try to stop by and say hi every so often if I'm driving by. Really, it's your family. It becomes your family. So, yeah, I can't say enough good things.